All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. I I think we have a very, very serious problem in the day that we're living in. A very serious problem. And the problem, I believe it's underlining racism. And I need for you to hear me out real good. Because a lie can travel so fast, and it travels fast even without facts, even to the point of people twisting and warping and distorting the scriptures in order to bring about their own agenda. Now we know that the history of the Bible has been skewed. We know that there are people that have practiced replacement theology. This we know. And we know that there were people who was never ever a people who actually come to adopt the customs, the Israelites. And so when people come up with this nonsensical doctrine, talking about Esau is the white man, it's just nonsensical and it doesn't make sense. It's a false doctrine that literally has no merit to it whatsoever at all. Listen, just coming off the basis of just history, let's just deal with a couple of historical facts. Okay, let's just deal with it. Think about this for a second. Israel was in the land of Ham, commonly today called Africa or Northeast Africa. All right, right adjacent to Israel was the land of Edom. Okay, and when you go read Numbers, the 30th chapter, this is what really caused the disdain of Edom, because Israel wanted to pass by. And Edom would not give Israel passage. Matter of fact, they came out in full force. And at that time, the Bible even says, your brother. Okay, so you got two men born from the same father. And the Bible says that Esau, red, meaning his hair and all this other stuff. It didn't say he was white. White is not red and red is not white. It's just crazy. Adam, who was actually considered what you would call a red man. David, a red man. I'm just being very, very basic because it's getting very strenuous and difficult because, you know, I don't go around trying to put out fires, chasing people with ignorant, illogical theology. What's happening with the blacks or the people of hue or people of color in this generation is that you've got people out there that are preaching who have tapped into your pain, and they have to put forth the finger and accuse someone of being the devil. And of course now they say the white man is the devil. All right, so if the white man is the devil, then what about all this history of the Arabs? The Arabs have a longer history of enslaving our people and mistreating our people and doing us wrong. And I'm not giving a pass to the Europeans whatsoever at all. But when you look at the geographical location of where Edom is, and it was right adjacent to Israel, there's no way that Esau can be the white man. No way. Now, can Edom's seed spread? Yeah, I mean, it's obvious that Esau ended up in Rome. All right, so what has taken place from there? Well, that was along about 55 BC, you know, when you had Caesar and all them. You know, now you get into the histories of the Anglo-Saxons, because right when Rome was occupying all these lands up there, you know, the lands where the Celts and the Brits, the Noradic people, let's just call it that, okay? You had the people up north called the Anglo-Saxon people, and these people consist of Norwegian, Germans, or what usually be called Germanic, or the Gauls, and all these people, they come to descend on a piece of land at that time, is what is commonly called England today. But they descended upon that time. There was the lands called Northumbria, Mercia, Wessex, Essex, Kent. This is the North, the Nordic people came down and they met with the Romans. And of course, then they had fights. By the time you get up to the Danes, the Vikings, the Celts, I can go on and on and on and on and on. These Nordic white people with these Romans at the time was an inbred mixed people. They end up meeting, and then they end up becoming, over a long haul, one culture. Until then, it's just like our days of the week. Our days of the week are named after these Anglo-Saxon Celtic gods. And Thor was one of them for Thursday. And then you have their god Odin. You see, all this paganism and stuff, this is what got interbred and interwoven in the kingdom there. And so Christianity was already fully entrenched by the time Alfred the Great had actually came on the scene. And of course, then it kind of, ran its little course, or whatever you want to call it. But I can tell you one thing, the Anglo-Saxons with the Jutes, who actually invaded Britain in the 5th and 6th centuries, that's how they end up being called that, because the people from Holland, Germany, Norwegian or Norway, Denmark, and all them came over to this land of Mercia, Wessex, and this Northumbrian. And that's what made up. It was a conglomeration of those people that made up, watch this now, the Anglo-Saxons. So, to say that Esau is the white man is not only pretty much stupid and illogical, it's nonsensical. Well, again, I'm afraid what's taking place and what's happening in the time that we live in now is that you've got people who are bitter in spirit. And it amazes me because the black people, Israelites of a hue, they didn't experience nowhere near the slavery, the unjust slavery that's taking place here in America, like those of us of a hue that live here in the South. It was our experience. And during that time, they pretty much live in high on the hog. But yet you see these people out putting forth the most racism and not really comprehending and understanding everything that's going on. I think it's a sad, sad situation that they're twisting and warping and distorting the scriptures, and they're being destroyed. They're going to be destroyed for that because they are lying to you. The blind lead the blind, and they both are going to fall into the ditch. And it's a sad situation. It's very unfortunate that many people are actually caught up in this. And these people get really mad. They get really upset when those of us who exercise self-autonomy and we know how to comprehend, read and write, which the Nordic people didn't know how to read and write. I'll throw that in there because they actually got that from the Romans. And all this comes up from the east heading north. That's where it comes from. And so you had Israel, I got a bunch of thoughts going on here, who were in Egypt, and it's obvious that they were a people of color and hue. You had the Messiah, according to the prophecy, out of Egypt, I've called my son. And it's obvious that you wasn't going to hide a white person in Egypt. It's obvious that the Israelites, look at the hieroglyphics and everything else, they were, let's just use simple terms, they were black. And it was obvious that the white people that come down from the Nordic tribes and stuff, or up here were the Celts, the Danes, the Germans, the Gauls, the Jutes, and all them other people. These white people end up meeting up with the Romans, who I believe at one time started off as a black nation, because that's what Esau married Africans, if we're going to use it like that. So I know how Esau ended up infiltrating Rome, and we even still see Rome and its tentacles today. I mean, the Latin language is the official language of Rome. But to say that Esau is a white man exclusively is stupid. These were a bunch of pagans. And so that's the reason why we see a lot of pagan overtones in our society today. That's why we see a lot of pagan overtones, even in the Bible with the translators, because these people end up ruling the world. See, the black people used to rule the world. Now the white people are ruling the world. And ruling this world, they put pen. Surely, the penmanship of the scribes is in vain. And they end up inserting their doctrines. That's why it takes autonomy. It takes someone who's a student of the word, who know what they're talking about. Exactly what they're talking about. And now you have all this intermingling, and you have all this mixing. And if you look at the 7 churches over there in Revelations, or the 7 assemblies, what is that geographical location? Where was Paul at? Where was the Apostle Paul at while he was ministering at? That's the reason why a lot of people, through their racism, they'll cover up, or they'll even try to deny Paul himself, who also were mistaken by the Greeks to be an Egyptian. It's just utterly amazing what's going on. Utterly amazing. Be careful of those who would deceive you. Be careful of those who want to take advantage of you through racism. The bottom line is that these northern, Noradic, Anglo-Saxon people, they adopted the religion of Christianity, just like all the other cultures did. But Christianity was a pagan religion. What it did is it used the doctrine, or used the teachings of Moses and Yeshua, Jesus Christ. It used the teachings of them, and then mixed and intermingled that pagan culture in it. And since they become the dominant people, they end up writing history their way. They tell it their way. And so today, many of you who call yourself Christians, you ignorantly do it, not even knowing the truth of the word. You just don't know. You don't know. Because many of your college professors, many of these people who have been in seminary, the truth that I'm telling you, they know it, but they can't not tell you because it's not good for business. It's not good for business. And they're not about to run off all the people when you're so entrenched in Christmas and Easter and all these pagan holidays and everything else. It's just a sad situation. So no, not no, but hell no, Esau cannot exclusively be the white man. It's nonsensical. It's stupid. And notice, a lot of these false Israelite camps, they use this mess. They use this garbage because they want to tap into the pain of the Israelites, the ancient Israelite, the descendants of the ancient Israelite people, rather than actually drawing you by love and kindness. Anyway, so I hope that I answered that. If you want to know more about this, just follow the ministry. Yeah, we're on live every Sabbath right there. Online-church.org. You go to my website, www.straightwaytruth.com. I include a link down there. We talk about stuff like this all the time. I got videos on this all the time. It's just, it's getting tiring, even though I'm not going to let it wear out my patience. But the only way you're going to be convinced is you're going to have to actually, with an open mind, independently read the word and throw out everything that people have put into your mind. That's what I had to do. I had to actually throw out everything that I ever learned, and I got the Bible. And I started really, truly studying it and reading it. And come to find out, even the assembly that I used to belong to, find out that when you start coming against tradition, what people commonly believe, when you start coming against the philosophies of men, false doctrines that they have touted as truth, man, even amongst your own people, you're going to be an enemy. An enemy, and they will ostracize you. They will do everything they can to drag your name through the mud and cast your name out as dung. They will do it, I promise you. And they don't care if you black, white, blue, purple, green, yellow, brown. It makes no difference. There's a spirit of truth, a ruach, that truly dwells in his people. And then there's the spirit of error. And there are more people that are in the spirit of error than those that are in the spirit of truth. But I can't do it for you. I can't do it for you. Even on some of these so-called Israelites or these so-called Messianics, my advice is to come out of them. Come out of them, period. And you need to start proving all things. You see, because if you approach the Bible from what they teach, and then you go look for the scriptures, you start off wrong, you will end wrong. Throw out everything they've taught you. Read the scriptures for what it says for itself. And then all the answers will begin to come to you. And no man can deceive you. Remember, let no man deceive you by any means. Christianity is one of the greatest deceptions that there is, because a lot of times people think when I'm speaking against the religion of Christianity, they think I'm speaking against Christ. And that could be nothing further from the truth. I am not speaking against Christ whatsoever at all. I'm not. I'm just not. Because Christ was not a Christian. Go read it for yourself. All you do, well, go read it. It's 4,000 years of Hebrew history from Genesis to Malachi. And then you have 60 to 90 years of the Greek translation or the English version of the Gospels and the letters of Paul, including the Revelation. Utterly amazing. Utterly amazing how that all of a sudden this little small book over here, which only confirms what was written 4,000 years ago by the law and the prophets. It's amazing how that the people who become Christians end up taking this word, translating it, and then end up dominating the whole world and included all these pagan Anglo-Saxon gods and incorporated them into the religion of Christianity, fused it together. Because the truth is, what Christianity believes, the basic of it, it got from the Hebrew people, the Israelites. And when these people started merging, Constantine wasn't even thinking about whatsoever at all was he ever even thinking about trying to so much get people on one accord, because you can't do it without religion. So Constantine compromised, and he fused the Torah, the scriptures, with the pagan religions, Odin, Thor, Norse, all these other people, and he made a political move, a compromise, and out of it was birthed what you call today the Roman Catholic Church, which has its tentacles and influence on Protestantism, on Christianity, Judaism, Roman Catholics, all throughout the world, and people are just ate up. I don't know. You know, if you truly want to know what the truth is, it's right there in front of you. You go on this internet and you use with all the information out here, with all these people, with all these different voices. See, when I was coming up, there wasn't no such thing as no internet. I had to study. That means I had to do a lot of reading, an extraordinary amount of reading. There was no Wikipedia. There was no internet that I had access to. It was too expensive then. None of us had access. We had to read. We had to read. We had to go to libraries. We had to order books in. We had to do all kinds of stuff just in order to get one morsel of truth. And today, you are flooded with it. All you got to do is one click of the button, and you all over the world. And there's a bunch of confusion out there. So Esau is not exclusively the white man, period. Anyway, hope I help some people out. I'm going to work. Shalom.